Welcome to Color Mania. Thank you for joining us today. I am Tanya.
And I'm Michael.
And today we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We've been doing a mini series on mommies. We have a little girl, but if you have a little boy, this can also apply to you. But we're talking about it as it relates to us and how God has given us a precious little girl. So today we're going to talk about being a working mom and homeschooling. Okay, I have to admit, ladies, whoever is doing this as I am doing this, this is one of the hardest jobs. I have to say, this is extremely difficult. And I really believe that God calls us to certain things that are hard. And hopefully, God calls us to do some hard things. And it is best that we continue to press on because God's plans are better. His ways are higher and he makes a way. And, you know, being a working mom, first of all, working is a challenge. As your child grows older, they need more attention. They need you every second. So I feel like half the time my mind is scattered. I'm all over the place because I'm trying to think about, okay, these individuals at work need me to do these things, but then I have my child saying, I need you to help me with this with my school, or I need this and I need that. And it could be very draining by 7:00 at night. You just feel like you can fall out because your brain just feels overly stimulated by all the activities that you had for the day. But to add homeschooling on top of that with things that are pressing, it can be a deep challenge. We went to a conference last year, a marriage family life conference. And one of the guys, I can't remember his last name, but his first name was like Israel. And he was giving an amazing speech on apologetics. And it was so awesome. And then he said, he was talking about homeschooling. And then at the end, he said that his mom taught him and his siblings, I think it was like 6 or 8 of the children, homeschooling. And she was a working mom. And I'm over here looking at Michael like, how in the world can a mother of 6 or 8 children homeschool and work? And we were just blown away. And it just made me more pumped to say, I can do this. With God's strength, I can do it. And I have my husband, who is my team as well. So we get to homeschool together. We get to tackle that together, but we live in a me culture, and it's easier to send our children to be taught by somebody else. It's easy for me to say, okay, you know what? I've had it. I'm just sending her to public school. Okay. That's wrong for us and our family because we want to teach Christ. We want Jesus to be our foundation. There's a lot of public schools that are not teaching the way of God and going in a Babylonian concept here. So we know that that is not the best option for our family. And we can also send our child to private school. But, you know, it goes back to the Deuteronomy 6. If we have the opportunity to do this, God has called us to do it. We can teach our children. We can do it. God equips us to do this. And this is something that, you know, we have to be prayerful about, and seeing that God wants this for our family and really understanding the personality of our child, understanding that this is an opportunity for our child to be taught in the ways of the Lord and to be raised to know what they are up against with the culture. And so it is something that the Lord has to call you to do it, and he will provide. But being a working mom and homeschooling is a juggling act. And Michael, you can speak to those moments where I think I'm just not able to do it because I'm just so mentally drained that you can see it from my face and my heart and my voice that I just need you to help me.
Yeah, I think it helps that both of us are at home so we can kind of tag team the situation. And you know, when you're in a meeting, then I can come in and do some school. And when I see that or hear and pick up on the fact that, you are going back and forth and struggling with her, it's time for me to maybe step in, that you need a break and our daughter needs a change of scenery and a change of teachers, a different dynamic to just kind of break up the situation. And sometimes there's something about daddy stepping in. It's like, no, I want mommy. Well, you got daddy now because you're not getting along with mommy at the moment. And sometimes that can have an impact and help reset some things, even if it's just for a moment. And then, you're able to come back and continue on. Or sometimes I take the whole school day, and sometimes that's necessary. And, I think that's good for both of us too, because that allows, I'm a very doing kind of personality. I just like to go from one task to another. And, I need those family times that are needed to kind of tune me into the fact that I need to spend time with my daughter and I need to do some school, and she needs to see me as the teacher as well, and stepping in and doing those Bible studies with her and leading the Bible studies. So she sees both parents as disciplers of her and not just one parent and, the father is off doing something else. We are both discipling her. And, sometimes you take the lead on things and you organize school and you get the curriculum together, but there's times where I'm doing the teaching and, I try to be the PE teacher, when the curriculum, schoolwork, book work is done, we go out and play and I try to make sure that she's getting a good amount of outdoor time and spending time out in the woods and by the creek and jumping on the trampoline and playing soccer and playing basketball and baseball and climbing trees. And so she's used to picking up bugs. And, I want her to be comfortable in the outdoors when it's hot and uncomfortable, when it's cold and uncomfortable, that she's just not shying away from being outside, that she's comfortable in all environments. So, I think it's important to have a very well-rounded individual and to disciple her to be well-rounded to whatever and be open to whatever God calls her to do. God may call her to be a missionary somewhere in Africa. She doesn't like the outdoors. That's not even going to be an option. God will never call her to do that because we didn't prepare her for that possibility. And so I want to make sure she's prepared for whatever God calls her to do and be looking for what gifts God has given her and help develop those gifts especially.
Yeah. And I want to go back really quickly about the me culture that we live in. And I've heard so much from different moms in the past where like, well, I need my own time. I need my time. I need to get away. I need all these things. But I feel like that could be very selfish thinking. And if it hurts one that's listening to this, I just want you to go back and evaluate that with the Lord. But, if we need time, how are we using that time wisely? And I've been thinking a lot about how Jesus went away to be in a desolate place. Why? To pray, to be refreshed, to be restored, to be strengthened. And those are opportunities as mothers that we do need. And I would say that that is the time where we need to go and be in a desolate place. And it's not about me just needing time to clean the house and all these things. All of that is just world things. And yes, we do need to live in a clean home. We do need to have dishes washed, and there's so many things to do, but to be a working mom and to homeschool, I can't put it all together. Like it can't be absolutely perfect. And there are times where I need to go into a desolate place and, working with your husband or seeing if you can have a little bit more morning time to be in the Word, to get refreshed for the day. Michael does that for me, and it's such a blessing for me to be able to get up, study the Word, and just take some time to pray and prepare for the day. I mean, that is an absolute blessing for me. It helps me. It refreshes me. And then by 7:00, of course, I'm back at the same place. And there are times where it's good for us to get away and have a little bit of time to be with the Lord. So with that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Homeschooling and working moms, you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. Don't give up. Allow the Lord to give you the strength and look to him. All of these things that we're dealing with are temporary. And if we keep pressing on in the word and keep pressing on to teach our children in our homeschooling and working to honor the Lord in all that we do, we will reap. We will have good fruits that will come. We may not see it right now, but the Lord will reveal it in his timing. So I hope that's encouraging to you. And we are so grateful. So join us back as we continue with the mini mommy series. And until next time,
God bless.